one is the latitude and longitude one. This one, you can use, like paint or something like that to draw the lines, like the equator is supposed to be blue and the prime meridian is supposed to be red. A lot of confusion. Oh, let me make sure I'm recording this, because if I'm not, I'm going to be really embarrassed. Okay, cool. A lot of confusion comes over the international date line, which if you're seeing my screen, it zigzags from one side. It's on, it's this line essentially over here, but it kind of zigzags around. You can just draw it as a brown line on either side of the globe is fine. Or if you want to be all technical about it, it does zig over into this part and then zag back over. But it's not, the important thing is that that it's, in this particular case, on the edge of the map. So because of the projection, that's where it's at. So you're supposed to outline that in brown. And then, so you're basically on this one, just following directions, putting a dot. So I've been told in the past I don't spend enough time talking about how latitude and longitude work. So I'm actually going to take a few moments to explain that. So again, latitude lines go east and west, but they measure things north and south. So 10 degrees north, let me open this in. Here, I'll use Cami because I can. Oh, except for it's going to actually edit it. So let me, hold on. Oh, goodness. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, please. Okay, so oh, come on. I don't know what it's doing now. Okay, so so you could use Cami to do this. It's a free what do you call those things? Oh, I'm drawing a box. That's not what I meant to do. It's a free app or extension for Google Chrome. So you could do something like that. So anyways, the first one says 10 degrees north and 40 degrees west. And I'm supposed to put a dot, and the easiest way to do it, in my opinion, is to just use the drawing tool and just put a dot. So 10 degrees north would be halfway between the 20 and the 0. And 40 degrees west would be along this line. So that would put me about here. So I just draw my little dot, right? And I can actually make it thicker so you can actually see the dot. So something like that. Woo, fabulous. And then you can go ahead and put a little text box on there that says A, because that's what it says to do. So that's essentially what you're doing with this one. You're drawing a whole bunch of lines on it. You're answering some questions, like which city is nearest 40 degrees north and 5 degrees west. So again, 40 is going to be along this line. 5 degrees west, this is 0. It says west, so that's going to be over here. So it's going to look like it's Madrid kind of thing. So this is, just basic stuff. Okay, then we get into the more complicated ones. Now, I'm going to caution you, and I'm going to say it, and people are going to hear me, hopefully. And then the people who listen to the recording will hear me. And then the people who don't will mess up on the test. All right, so when it asks for the latitude and longitude to the nearest degree, and you type in 1.01738, because that's where Tonga is located, for example, I'm going to know, and I'm going to give you a 0 on the entire test. Now, in order to protect myself against this, a lot of times I actually change the numbers, because I used to teach graphic design in high school. So I actually changed the numbers so use the numbers on here, don't Google for the answers. The idea is you're supposed to be learning how to find places on a globe. Since I can't give you all a globe, I'm giving you this. We'll get to the globe part later. We're going to use a virtual globe. So just use the map that I give you. Don't just ask Siri or, Alexa or Google or any of those people, what is the latitude and longitude of Tonga? Because they'll tell you and they'll be right, but they may not be the map that I gave you right. And I'm looking for the map that I gave you right. So just keep that in mind. So again, this is an optional activity. So in my opinion, what I would do if you're going to go through this, I would not do it all. I would just, do a couple and be like, all right, I understand how to do it this way. And then you go to the next one and it says, use a map. And so now it's the opposite way. So now it gives you latitude and longitude and you're supposed to find what's there. So 11 degrees north and 67 degrees west. So 11 degrees north, that's going to be up in here somewhere. If I could see these numbers, it would probably help. Oh, here's 10. So 11 degrees north and 67 or something like that. Was it 67? Yeah. Looks like it's Caracas. So you would just, type in Caracas there. So the idea is it's kind of like math practice. If you have a hard time finding it the first time, do a couple of them. If you, know how to do it and you're secure that you know how to do it, then just, do one and move on. Okay. So these are different ways, and these are all different ways that you will see maybe on the quiz, but most definitely all of these are optional ways of finding things on the test, the midterm. So you want to make sure that you know how to do it all these different ways. And that's why these are set up, and there's just a couple of each one, and you don't have to do the whole thing. You just gotta, give it the old college try, as we like to say, and turn it in and you'll get your 10 points. Okay, so again, this one you're using Google Earth. So this one you're supposed to take screenshots and turn it in so that you can show that you used Google Earth. I am attempting to figure out how to make this work for the test. I did it last semester and it didn't work for some people. So I'm trying to work out the kinks before I give you your midterm, because I want you to be able to turn in screenshots of stuff to show that you're actually doing it, because we're not in person. And one of your skills that you're supposed to be able to do is find places using a globe, because we all carry them around with us. I'm not sure why this is an expected learning outcome, but it is. And so we just go with it. So you're expected to know how to find places using a globe. So we're going to make sure you know how to find places using a globe in a virtual environment. So without handing you all a globe, we'll give you Google Earth globe. So then this one, it used to be, and this is Pitt's keeping it real again. It used to be that you couldn't put in degrees, minutes, seconds into Google Earth and get the right location, but you can now. So if I went like this and I went to Google Earth, you used to have to convert it to decimal degrees, but now you can just click on search and paste that in there and it'll take you. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, somebody said it did. That's weird. Oh, maybe there has to be a comma here. Nope, it doesn't work. You do have to convert it. I had a student at Fullerton say, we didn't have to do that. You could have just copied and pasted. Why didn't you just tell us? And I was like, because my understanding was that it didn't work. So they must have figured out a way to do it. More power to you. But so back to what I was saying before I was, is if I copied and pasted these guys, and there are directions on how to convert between these two, it will take me to this place. We'll zoom all around. And the idea is to figure out where the place is. So for this particular one, this is where you put in screenshots. These are some of the most impressive sand dunes. If you could, if they popped up out of the earth, it would be even better, but they don't. So, but you can see, I like Google Earth. It's very fun. I play with it all the time. For those of you in my lecture class, you know that I'm like addicted to it. And if you don't know that yet, oh, wait, you may not know. I am addicted to it, and you will learn that throughout your lecture. So anyways, oops, that's the, so you have to convert these, and there's a video on how to do it. It's just a matter of dividing stuff. We used to do it in class and you had to do it using a calculator, but I understand now that, yeah, there's no way for me to reinforce that in this uncontrolled environment in which we live. And so you can just take this and copy and paste it into insert degree minutes second to decimal degree converter, and it will tell you the answer. So I don't have any way to figure out how, if you did it in person or if you asked, Alexa could probably even tell me. So, but anyways, you're supposed to find the spots on the globe, and then we do it backwards where I give you the decimal degrees, and then you can just copy and paste those. So that's just another way. So that's this activity. And again, you don't have to fill the whole thing out. The idea is that you know how to do it both ways. You know how to look for a location using latitude and longitude and tell me where it's at, and you know how to take a latitude and longitude and tell me where it's at, kind of thing. So it's just different ways of looking at it, different ways. So just the numbers, looking at a map, things like that. So that's what that activity is about. Let me make sure I don't save these changes because I tend to do that, and then everybody sees my little cami things because I'm the teacher. And okay, cool. All right, any questions on the latitude and longitude activity? It's pretty clear. It gets all messed up when you open it in Google Docs and stuff like that. Don't worry about it. I know how to scroll. So if the page nation whatever, pagination, I don't know, there's a word for it. So that's the first one.